Hello, and welcome to Shaheen and Erica's Shit Show Extravaganza. My name is Shaheen, and I am 24 years old today. That means I'm dying sooner than you think.
And I'm Erica. I am the 10th member of Twice.
I like how exotic her name is, Erica. It's really,
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah. Thank you. My parents named me that. They wanted to be creative.
Erica, how do you spell that? Anyway, um, so
The C.
it is May 2nd today, and by the time this episode comes out, it would be a few days into the first week of Ramadan. So we decided to dedicate this episode to some stories in regards to Ramadan. And Erica, on your end, would you like to explain?
Easter.
Yeah. So first, basically, I'll explain Ramadan to people that don't know. So Ramadan is a holy month in the Islamic calendar in which Muslims fast from sunrise to sunset. And by fast, I mean like no food, no water, not even water. A lot of people are surprised when there's no water, but yeah, no water either. And it's basically supposed to make us sympathize and understand what some people go through on a daily basis. And yeah, it's pretty much that simple.
And, also, Lent is when a dude was stuck in the desert for 40 days. And then Easter is that same dude waking up from a 3-day nap.
Bible dude coming back.
Yes, Bible dude coming back.
And for those that don't know what goes down in Lent, for followers of said religion.
Oh yeah. So it's 40 days, but it's actually 46. They don't count Sundays. So people are basically doing Lent for 46 days, but whatever, they don't count Sundays. And you're supposed to give up something, ideally something that's bad for you, like don't give up exercising because like that kind of defeats the purpose of the thing, you know? It's like giving up chocolate or bread or rice or listening to music. Oh, maybe not that. That's kind of weird.
Depends
But
on how it
basically,
affects your life, I guess.
yeah, like it's supposed to be more of like a vice rather than something that's good for you. Like don't give up carrots. Like
What if
for
I
40
aggressively
days.
eat carrots? Like, not only do I eat carrots, I also like stab myself with carrots.
That's not giving up carrots. That's taking them in. I know.
No,
It's fine.
like if I eat, not only do I eat carrots, because they say it's good for the eyes, so I stab myself in the eyes
Oh.
constantly. Do I give up carrots for 46 days minus Sundays, 40 days?
To be honest, you just shouldn't be doing that in general.
Don't
Like,
tell me how to live my life.
I'm not. I'm just saying, like, that's not good.
See, I have
It's
2020.
not okay.
I have 2020 vision. You don't know how I live my life.
You're right. I'm the one with glasses.
I'm bleeding constantly from my eyes. But yeah, so now that you understood the basic concept of these two religious, would you refer to Lent as a religious holiday or a religious?
Yeah, Lent is religious, but Easter, it's kind of became, what's the word? Orthodox? Not orthodox. But, like, you know, it's not just, like, strictly religious, like, kind of how, like, Christmas.
It became kind of like traditional depending on the country you live in. Would you say that?
Yeah.
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 It's because we have Eid, but that's also religious. Eid is at the end of Ramadan, and it's basically, if I were to compare it to anything that Westerners would have, it's like Christmas, but for Muslims, minus a lot of the because what we do is we just have a big ass feast after Ramadan, like the biggest feast. We kill a goat, or not goat, a sheep, and then we just feed everyone. And it's supposed to be like, yeah, 30 days we suffered, but now back to obesity. Like we really dive deep into this food. Another thing that we do have, and I don't know how common it is amongst other Muslim countries, because I don't know, I don't know if it's even exists in other countries. But halfway through Ramadan, we have something called Girgi'an, and basically, It's Halloween, but without the costumes. So what we
So,
do is we dress in fancy clothes. Not us, kids usually. So they'd wear like
hmm
fancy traditional clothing, boys and girls, and then they go around from house to house, and they knock on the door. They sing a song, and then they get candy and chocolates or whatever.
well, that's cool.
Yeah, and I remember even growing up when we were going from house to house, this kid who we didn't even know. His mother was like, "Oh, you guys are going from house to house. Can you take my child too? Because he's missing out and he doesn't have any friends to go with." And we're like, "Yeah, sure." So this dude just joined. I don't even remember his fucking name, and he joined our
hmm
party, and we would just go from house to house, and we'd hit those fancy houses. Yeah, we get chocolates and shit. So we have all American or all Western holidays in 1 month, just gradually getting them,
You guys are more progressive than we are.
so we don't waste time the other few months. That's why.
Mm. Also, like for Easter, like there's like we have like Easter egg hunts where we just hide eggs all over and then have children find them. Usually, some people use hard-boiled eggs, some use plastic eggs and put candy inside. So
I don't
it
like taking part in
depends.
those unless there's an actual ostrich egg amongst the eggs.
Ostrich eggs.
Like if
Oh,
it's not the
okay.
size of an infant's head, I'm not gonna go.
Do you? Um, one time though, like we were doing it. This is when I was a child, like I think 5 or
Hmm.
something, and we were doing an Easter egg hunt. And to be funny, the adults put a raw egg out there in the world, and my brother was the one that found it. And I do not know what they did to him, but he snapped, took the egg, and like threw it at our fence. And for the longest time, there was just an egg stain on our fence because my brother threw a raw egg because the adults found it funny to trick us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fondest Easter memory.
I've only experienced because I was in the States for 5 years, and I don't really experience Easter that much. The only exposure to Easter I do have is anything that the club that I was in, JSA, Japanese Student Association, does.
Uh,
So whenever we did something Easter related, I'd be exposed to something. Like I did the egg hunting because we did that in my first year in
mm-mm.
JSA, and it was fun. I mean, yeah, it was a very small field in which we played in, but I mean, it's whatever.
Oh.
You can't ask for too much when you're just visiting. But yeah. So today we're just gonna go back and forth, just share some stupid stories of Ramadan and Easter and Lent. And if you don't mind, I'm gonna start off with one that's pretty traumatic for me as a kid.
Oh, great. Let's start off
Let's start
press.
really negative. So,
Yeah.
in case you don't know, regardless of when Ramadan is, I have practiced like fasting Ramadan my whole life in Kuwait, with the exception of 2 years in the States, which is my last 2 years. Because even the previous years in San Diego, I would still come to Kuwait, uh, you know, during the summer, which is when Ramadan was. Now,
hmm
it's from sunrise to sunset in a desert in one of the hottest, no, the hottest country in the world. You can imagine that there's much more sunlight than it is than there is like nighttime. So what ends up happening is sunrise around 2:30, 3 a.m. and then doesn't set until 7 p.m. It's a long ass time of not eating or drinking. And yeah, some people just nap through the day, which you're not allowed to do technically, but who's keeping tabs, right? It's just God is up there, like, like just ticking.
Taking notes.
Yeah, it's like anyway. But I was young-ish at the time. By the way, we start fasting by 10 years old. You can like start on and off from 7 years old. Like you can if you want, you don't have to. Like if because usually kids are eager to try to do things the adults do. But by 10, it should be a regular thing that you do it annually. There are exceptions. I'm not going to go into it. Like if you're sick and you need food, you're exempt from fasting. And if you're pregnant and it might affect the child, you're exempt. If you're there's a lot of rules. If you care to know, just message me. But we were fasting and we were at my aunt's house, and it was near breaking our fast, it's called futur, and that's when we break our fast. And all of us have the TV on because as soon as the call for prayer goes, we are allowed to eat. And usually we break our fast with either a date. So if you're single, you're going to have a hard time. I'm joking. The dried fruit, the date, or water. And I was standing there, young, bright-eyed, and then I thought the call for prayer happened.
Oh.
Because before the call to prayer, there was another prayer that's not a call to prayer, just like someone say, I don't know how to explain it. It's dua. It's different in Arabic, but it has the same tone as the call to prayer, like the way it begins. And as soon as that happened, I'm like numbing, and I'm eating. And then I turn to my right and left, and nobody's eating. And then 3 minutes later, the call to prayer happened. I wasted an entire fasting day by fucking up at the last 2 minutes. I never felt like such a failure in my life that I couldn't wait 2 more minutes. And to this day, I would, even when it's prayer time, I'm still like, I'll give it a few minutes, just in case. But yeah.
Oh, well, I can make you feel better.
Yeah.
So this past Lent, I gave up bread for like 40 days. And I made a mistake. I mean, like, it's like whatever. Like, what? Is God really going to punish me for doing it? So I gave up bread.
He makes you allergic to gluten.
Oh, no. 2 days before Lent ends, I order a cheesecake that has bread in it. I ordered tiramisu. If you don't know what that is, it's basically like a coffee dessert. And they have these things called ladyfingers that are soaked in coffee. And my dumbass just thought it was going to be tiramisu flavored, so basically coffee flavored. But no, it actually had the ladyfingers in it. And so we were eating it, and then I take a bite, and I'm like, oh, shit.
It always sucks when you're almost at the finish line, and then you fuck up.
Yeah, and so I'm like, oh, now this has bread in it. And I'm like, well, can't be helped. It's like, it was one slip up. Like, whatever. It happens.
That.
I messed up last year, too. But, like,
Do you give up bread every year? Or do you mix it up?
I mix it up, but the last 2 years, I saw how good it was to give up bread. So I decided to do it again.
Good from like a health perspective? Or
yeah, health perspective.
How much bread do you eat normally?
Too much, honestly. It's kind of scary.
Like whenever you talk about giving up bread, I start like thinking back, like, shit, how much bread do I eat every day or every week?
Yeah, way too much. Like it eliminates. I also give up pasta too, so.
See, I wouldn't blame you for pasta. There's lots of good alternatives for a month, and pasta is truly, truly just pure destruction to your body.
Yeah.
That's why it's so good, though.
Yeah, so I eat, because I mean, last year when I did the bread for Lent, that was more intense. Because I didn't just give up bread. I gave up junk food. I gave up fast food.
See, but you're friends with us, and we're toxic.
Yeah, no, like, even with you guys, like, I did pretty well. It was extreme how much I was, like, even working at Jamba Juice, I get 50% off a smoothie. Like, how can you say no to that? So,
well, you can get one of those healthier ones.
It's honestly way too much sugar for me to, like, be like, yeah, you can do this. And, like, if I try to take out the sugar, it's not going to taste good. Like, I know this.
Just take a shot like that one guy.
Take a shot?
Yeah, when we were waiting at Jamba Juice for you to finish, and this guy just waited for like 10 minutes, and then you guys prepared like a small ass shot. He took it and just ran out. Like,
Yeah.
people live like
Well,
that? Damn.
Well, it's because, like, people who do that, by the way, are the worst. Like, he ordered a juice and a ginger shot. And we only have one juicer. So that juice and the ginger shot came from one place. So that's why it takes a while. But
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah. And, like, my, like, shift lady was stressed because she's like, ugh. Anyways, let's see. Yeah, back to the original. So last year I did a lot better, but I think after last year I realized how much I valued bread. So that made this year difficult because I kept having dreams about eating bread. It was wow. I didn't realize I was that dependent on eating carbs.
Your subconscious
But, yeah.
must be like nightmare fuel. Like, I'm scared.
It was crazy. Like, I'm like damn,
bread in bikini, like, just calling you over.
It's like that one episode of SpongeBob where he just starts seeing the Krabby. Because he doesn't sleep, he starts to fear Krabby Patties. It's like that. Because I can't eat bread, I start to fantasize them. Yeah. The bread's trying to eat me.
Where are you? And they start chasing after you in your dreams. It's wild.
Oh, that's scary. Like a baguette. Just running down.
Dude, baguettes are scary if they come to life.
It's like I'm a 2-day-old baguette, so if it hit me, I'd be dead.
Fucking bagels start chasing after you, like rolling after you.
Yeah, so prior to that, I never really was good at committing to Lent. But I think that's because I had a child like mine. But now I have a adolescent like mine, which is still a child, but a little bit older. So,
It adds that perseverance, I guess,
Yeah.
It kind of becomes like a challenge.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, the amount of days where I just like decided not to eat because I couldn't, really, like, because going to San Diego State, majority of the options are kind of revolve around bread.
Bready.
Yeah,
They're bready for you.
And I'm not a big fan of like Panda Express, or like I don't like eating Chipotle a lot. So
I get a bowl from Chipotle. Actually, that makes sense.
Yeah, I could get a bowl, but like I don't like eating Chipotle a lot.
I guess,
like
yeah.
I can't eat it like every day.
Yeah.
For like 4 weeks. That's too much.
Vinny's would actually be your enemy that whole 40 days.
Oh, I ordered Vinny's. I don't know if you know, but they have
Mini
zucchini
Vinny's.
noodles.
Oh, zucchini noodles. That's
yeah,
new.
zucchini noodles. Yeah, so that was my cop out for trying to eat pasta.
No, that's
And
good.
they
That's
give
smart.
you, and if you do like the baked one, like if you like melted cheese on top, you get 3 mini Vinnies.
Dude, mini Vinny's
man.
are the shit.
They were so good, and then I just like, who wants them? I can't eat them. It's
Were
like,
you ever there when they had the Cinevinnies?
No.
Oh, man.
Maybe I was, but I never ordered them.
Okay, I'm pretty sure, like, not many people in our friend group know what a Cinevinny is. It's basically the mini Vinnies, which is like small pieces of bread. But they're soaked in cinnamon, sugar, and you dip it into frosting instead of the marinara. And, oh my
Can I get
god.
it with pesto sauce?
Disgusted.
I think that's good.
But yeah.
Don't hate on it until you try it.
I don't want to try it, okay? But no, that shit was delicious. We used to get like a whole pile of it, and then just I feel
What?
my weight increasing as I'm eating it.
What grade were you in when that came out?
You said grade? I was, I think freshman, sophomore year, it was definitely there. I don't know if it was there in junior year.
Oh. I didn't start eating at Vinny's until I came back from Korea. So that's why I probably didn't know about it.
It's one of the first places I went to because it's pasta on campus, and I'm a little fatty, so. But, yeah. okay, so in Ramadan, it's fine in Kuwait. It's fine because the whole world understands you. In fact, there are laws dictating that if you eat or drink during the daytime in Kuwait on the streets or in public places, it could be a felony. You could it's an actual crime. I'm against that because I think people that aren't Muslim or do not, yeah, probably just not Muslim, or people that are sick and are allowed to eat or whatever, should feel free to do that because we're not supposed to eliminate the idea of food. It's the fact that we are challenged by temptation and still be able to defeat it, not remove it completely. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we had a teacher. I'm gonna say his name, Mr. Peter. He back in ninth grade, he would during Ramadan while he's talking, he'd like, my throat is dry, and he just walk to his desk, pull out this big ass bottle of water, and start chugging it, and then he says, ah, and then he looks at us, and we're like, "Oh, you son of a bitch!"
Was he the foreign teacher?
No, we love this guy. Everyone loves this guy.
Yeah, no. Like, was he not Muslim?
No, yeah, he's not. He's Canadian. He's not Muslim.
Yeah, see, that's what I was saying. It's the foreigner guy.
Yeah. There's many foreign teachers in my school, but
okay.
Yeah, mostly Canadian, and some American teachers. Mostly the foreign teachers are not Muslim, but we were okay with that. Like he would be teasing us, and we'd be fine with that. It's not like, oh my god, he drank in front of us, and I just throw up. It's not like that. So I don't know why people are so sensitive about that in terms of law. But anyways, so we're not allowed to eat, and in Kuwait there's every day there's a new there's a drama. Okay, so they make dramas throughout the year, and they release them every day, a new episode every day throughout the entire Ramadan to help people get their minds off of fasting. Usually it's the same storyline. You know, some guy cheating, and then they're slapping, and then the same insults, and then someone dies in the beginning, someone dies in the end, and that's the story. But it's guilty pleasure for many people. But in the States, it's a whole different ballgame because nobody can sympathize with me. Because it's difficult to tell the world hello, chill, with throwing food in my face. But there's one specific bad habit that I get is when you're fasting, and then you finally get to eat, you have a lack of sugar. You really want to boost up your energy. So usually when I eat in San Diego, I would fill up my stomach with savory food, and I don't really care for dessert that much, aside from like boba or whatever. But during Ramadan, I would eat an entire meal, maybe two, or maybe a lot of side dishes, and then I would still immediately go eat dessert. And because of that, I'm eating twice the amount I usually do because of how hungry I am, and I'm eating dessert and everything. And another really bad habit was. And I didn't Eriko and Yuna did not help with this habit because while we would go to, Mitsuwa Japanese market, and because I'm hungry, I'm not thinking straight, so I just buy a shit ton of snacks that they suggest for me, and then during my small period of not fasting, I just have a shit ton of snacks that I can't get through. So I just have people eating my snacks before I do, and it's frustrating.
I remember this.
Yeah.
I remember you looked at me and you said, "Man, if we were roommates, we would die."
Because you ate my snacks, I think.
No, we shared.
Yeah, except the spicy seaweed potatoes.
Chips. Oh yeah, that was something.
That almost caused the end of our friendship. That's how good it was.
But no, we agreed, let's just share these snacks, but hide it from everyone else because they didn't pay for it.
Yeah, because people just go through my shit while I'm fasting. I'm like, can you please chill? Like, when I'm eating, we'll all eat together. But if it's my snacks and it's on my table and you just eat it, I'm not going to have any by the time the sun sets. And okay, do you have a story before I jump into the next one?
No, I don't.
Okay, so this one kicked my ass. So I remember Alex, Miki, Cindy, and Yumemi. They were volunteering at the the Japanese Friendship Garden, and I was fasting that day. Oh no, that's a different story. Well, shout out to those people. No, it was a different group. It was like Noah, Lizzie, Jevin, and a few others. If I can't remember you, I'm sorry. But we were gonna have K barbecue because that's a perfect meal for me when I've been fasting all day. So I tell them, "Yo, go get seats. I'm on my way." And I get there and I'm happy and I'm excited and we're like, "Let's get the meat." And then I check my watch, and there's still 30 minutes to prayer. Now we're already seated, and we can't tell the people, "Hello, can we wait 30 minutes?" So I told my friends, "Go ahead, eat. It's fine. I can do this." Boy, was I a fool, because when that meat sizzle and it goes in my nose, and then the waitress would come up to me. She's like, "Would you like anything?" I was like, "I'd like everything, but please give me time." I'd ask for, and she was probably one of my favorite waitresses because it's like she could enter my mind. I said, "I like a kimchi pancake." She's like, "You want one kimchi pancake or three?" And I'm like, "Fuck, I do want three kimchi pancakes." You right? I do want three kimchi pancakes. And she grabs me some. And whenever I say something, it's like, "I'd like some briskets." Like, "You want 2 plates of brisket?" I'm like, "Yes, I do want 2 plates of brisket." And she took care of me. She got a healthy teeth from me. I don't know how you tell you. A healthy tea from me. But yeah. That was, but waiting for 30 minutes while people were straight up sizzling meat in front of me was daunting. I switched religions 3 times in those 30 minutes, hoping to find a cheat, like how we find which country we could communicate, like Russia or whatever. That's the same thing I'm doing, but trying to find a way out.
Man, I can't imagine doing that. That's too hard.
I've had friends there in SD. I was gonna say friends in Kuwait. Of course, we're all fasting, but no, friends in San Diego that took the fall with me every now and then. I remember my first year fasting. Daniel, Shin, and Minami fasted with me. Minami fasted 2 days, and Shin Daniel only could do 1 day because they started, like they were saying, "Oh, my head hurts," or "I'm not feeling so well after the," because it really does take a lot out of you if you're not used to it. And Kim didn't even try because she said, like, "I know I'm gonna get sick." And Minami wanted to keep going. I'm like, "You really don't have to. You could just not do it. I know you're trying to keep up with me, but you really don't have to." Because although she was like trying to be prideful, like, "No, I'm fine," you can tell that she was getting dizzy. Last year, Marty fasted with me 1 day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he had fun doing it, I think, just because we didn't spend money on food. But also,
that's true.
Yeah, you save money in Ramadan, but it's the water, I think, that gets people. It's the lack of water, because I think a lot of people can go through a whole day without eating and just drinking water. But without water, I think people kind of start getting dizzy, or because before the sunrise, you can have one more meal right before sunrise, suhoor. You wake up and eat that shit. But usually you rain a flood in your mouth of water, okay, and then you try to sleep afterwards, but you can't because you have to go get up and pee every 5 seconds because the only thing in your stomach is like a sack of water. And I had to like whoever was fasting with me was also staying at my apartment at the time, so I would be the one that wakes them up. I'm like, "Hey, if you're gonna fast, you probably need to put something in your system before we go through the goddamn day." Marty was fine. We had fun with it. He didn't do it again, I think. I think it was just 1 day. And Yumeimi's fucking stupid. She said, "Shaheen, technically I'm fasting with you." I'm like, "Why do you say technically?" Because we were hanging out the whole day and she didn't eat anything. She's like, "Oh, because I ate breakfast in the morning." I'm like, "That's not fasting. That's breakfast." And she's like pouring a cup of water. She's like, "No, it still counts as fasting." I'm like, "You're drinking water in front of me." She misunderstood, but whatever. It's fun when you have friends trying it out because, like, I don't know, it helps with perspective. I think people have, at least a lot of my friends in the in San Diego don't have a good grasp of Islam or Arabic culture, and I'm glad that I could, show them something from my perspective. And now you guys have Naif too, which is great.
Yeah. I wonder if he's going back.
He is. He said he's coming back in the summer. He's not going to come back for Ramadan because Ramadan starts next week. So he's probably going to be fasting at least the first half. I don't know if he's coming the second half, but at least the first half of Ramadan. I'm pretty sure he's going to have to fast it in the States by himself. You guys take good care of him, please. It's stressful. But yeah, especially because exam time too. Can you imagine studying while going through shit? Because in Kuwait, the hours differ. School hours, instead of a 7, you know how high school, middle school, elementary school, it's 7 hours, right? Around 7 hours. Mm-hmm. In Kuwait, it becomes 4 hours and a half of school during Ramadan. Because they don't want to fuck up the kids. But, like, he'll suffer like I did. But he'll get through it. I'm sure he can.
I hope so.
Yeah. Okay, so there's something else that it's not just food and water that you cannot do during from sunrise to sunset. Why did you giggle? Could you tell where this was coming?
I remember.
Yeah, you also aren't allowed to have sex. Okay? Did you expect that direction, or did you expect another direction? No. There's other things. Yeah, no. I'll get to those in a sec. Trust me, those are probably much harder than what I'm about to explain. But basically, you cannot have sex until sunset. So at night, get everything out of your system and just get ready for the next day. But masturbating also is a no-no. But here's the fun part. It's religion. Masturbating either way is a no-no. So, you know what I mean? Like, either way, it's bad. So if you do it while you're supposed to be fasting, you're just asking for the worst, So this one time we were hanging out at a friend's house, and it was Ramadan, so we broke our fast. We had dinner or futur, and we're hanging out, chilling. This man had a theater in his house, and I'm like, whoa. It was pretty cool. But we were hanging out, and we were just discussing random shit. Okay? And then one of my friends, just out of nowhere, no one fucking asked him. He just said, I masturbated when I was fasting. Nobody in the room asked him. Like, assuming he has the capability of reading minds, no one in that room was even thinking it for him to even mention it. Like, God has forgiven him by protecting his secret, and he said, you know what, I'll just tell these people. And you know what, I'm his friend, okay? I've known him for a while. The other guy kind of knows him. There's a third guy that never met him before, Like, why are you just sharing this information? This crucial, very, not embarrassing necessarily, but, like, it's not like, I'm not gonna go up to him like, hey, I murdered someone, like, I don't know, you're admitting to something that's pretty stupid and nobody cares and nobody was thinking about it, and you just, I don't know if it was like clogging his conscience. I don't know what he's been going through, but like literally nobody in the room asked. Nobody in the room was even thinking it, and he just decided to explain it to us. And he was saying it like, oh, it was almost sunset. I'm like, why couldn't you wait until sunset? I don't.
He felt guilty.
He did, but like, man, nobody asked. This isn't a confessional, okay? Don't. We also don't have confessionals here. You kind of just regret it. Deal. Yeah, and like we just say like, I hope God forgives me, and we just assume that He does if you actually feel bad about it. But still, what a guy, what a story, what a time.
I remember the reason why I started laughing was last year when we were at your house and I started playing K-pop videos. And I'm like, oh, you guys want to see a good time? And you're like, please wait till sundown. And I'm like, okay. And then sundown came, and then we just spent the night watching sexy K-pop videos.
You were about to rain a fury of half-naked, attractive women dancing. And also, amongst the things that you're not supposed to do while fasting is obviously avoid any other temptations like I guess porn. I don't know, naked woman, sex. Anyway, but also you're also supposed to avoid even, and this is something that's hard for me personally. You can take food away from me. You can take water. You can take breathing from me. The one thing that is difficult that you may take away from me is my freedom to cuss, because you're not allowed to cuss, and you're not allowed to say negative or be mean or be an asshole. You're not allowed to do these things during sunrise to sunset. You're supposed to be the perfect Samaritan. And I mean, if you slip, because many people do, if you cuss or you're mean or you say something or you talk trash to someone, there's like a small thing you say, like basically saying, God, forgive me for I am fasting, basically is what you're saying. But man, like, that is the hardest thing for me. Because I'm a fucking sailor when it comes to speaking. I'm ashamed of my own language. I've spent my whole life studying English, and here I am using the trashiest of the language. So that's why it's very hard for me. Because, okay, by the way, moving forward for the next 4 episodes probably, if we film this morning time Kuwait, you will hear a much different Shaheen speaking. I will avoid cussing, and I will avoid discussing any crude conversations. I will be a saint. But I hope that we keep doing this my time at night. But I mean, depends on our schedules, I guess.
Okay. Wow. We should do it your time at night. That way you can cuss freely.
Yeah. If you want to take it for a spin and see how it might go in the morning, I'm willing to give it a try. See how difficult it might be. just to fuck around.
I'll try to break you.
You probably could, I think, if you mention enough topics that piss me off. I mean, we had a pet peeves episode, so you have the ammo. Yeah. What else you got on your end?
Yeah. Typically for me, I mean, like, as far as Easter goes, I'm not really too big on celebrating it anymore, both like religiously and traditionally, because I'm 22 years old. Easter egg hunting is far outdated for someone my age.
You spear a child just to get to the eggs before him.
Yeah, I'm officially banned from Easter egg hunts after I bodied a 2-year-old kid for a pink Easter egg. So
power bomb.
I'm not allowed to do it. Yeah. All right, Kratos. The people who hid the eggs because I called bullshit on it. They're like, these spots are clearly too easy. You're only trying to benefit the children, and then they yelled at me and said, "You're too old anyways." I don't know. It's kind of fucked up, ageist society we live in. But whatever, But religiously too. Like I don't frequent church. The last time I went to church for Easter was before I left for Korea.
Oh man, don't tell Albert.
Easter. Oh, what is he gonna do? Smite me?
He might. Shit. Listen, he's gone through enough that he probably has ammo. Like, you know what I mean? Like eventually things are gonna turn in his favor. So I hope he doesn't smite you. Like shit.
That's just typical. My favorite thing about Easter is the day after when they do sales on the chocolate.
Oh yeah, they do that, don't they?
Yeah,
we're such a capitalist society. By the way, this is not a political podcast.
But we learn to live.
Yeah. I remember
that is as far.
Yeah.
As Easter goes, yeah. I'm dead.
Okay, but my first experience with Easter, because JSA had a little Easter egg hunt thing, and it was right outside the trolley station, like the big field that's kind of slowly, gradually, like it kind of slopes up with steps on it or whatever, and they were hiding the eggs there. Do we go, hunt them or whatever? I won because I built a mafia. of friends, and I said, "Listen, you, whenever you see someone pick up an egg, circle them, okay, and make sure you don't leave until you grab that egg." And they're like, "We got a boss," and then we kind of go from one person to another, and then we'd make deals. We're like, "Listen, you give me eggs, we'll split the prize. Everything's okay." And they're like, "Okay, okay." I'm like, "Tony, cuff him." By the way, that's Anthony Lee, but I call him Tony. But yeah, we were very aggressive. We were terrifying. We all, in that brief moment, we all went bald and got matching tattoos. And after, I forgot what the prize was. I think it was like a stuffed animal or something. And inside the eggs there was, I think, Skittles, something. And while we're hanging out, we're just having a good time eating them. I remember Lizette, she tossed like a piece of Skittle. Like she just tossed it. Okay, not even towards me, like to my right a little bit, like a little bit low. And I remember like instinctively jumping and catching it with my mouth. And it didn't occur to me that my body moved on its own. like this was back when my instinct, when my hunger was stronger. Not now, when I realized that I was obese and I started slowing down. But back when I was like closer to a beast than a human, she tossed it, and I fucking like, and I still landed on my feet. Like it's not even like I fell to the ground or anything. It was wild. I grabbed it, and everyone was like, "What?" And I was surprised too. And then I realized she could have fucking flicked her booger, and I would have jumped for it. I really need to reassess my life after that. Like she could have thrown anything midair, like a pebble, and I would have broken my teeth. Like it didn't matter. I was jumping for it. It was a challenge. I'm ready. It was disgusting.
Oh man.
I fear no man.
I fear no man. Easter does that to you. When our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ rises, so do we.
we bring the game. We bring the pain. That's my slogan for Easter from now on. Yep.
Like the whole, okay, like I feel like some people also don't know how religious Easter is, because like, you know, it like prior to it you have Lent, but even then we also have Palm Sunday, and then we have Passover Thursday, and then like Good Friday, and then Sunday is like, you know, Easter. So there's a lot of religion. Capitalism has found a way to market off of it and make it about finding eggs. This is not a political podcast, but, you know, throwing it out there.
Yeah. And everything that you just mentioned, I only know by, like, I've heard people talk about it. I don't actually know it as a concept. My ignorance stems to this extent. I do not know beyond
Palm Sunday is the start of, like, the Easter week, and I forgot what Palm Sunday is, but I remember I always get palm tree leaves, and my mom makes crosses out of them.
Okay, what is it when people, this might sound stupid if I just say it out loud, but you know when people put the crosses on their forehead and they walk around?
Oh, the Ash? Oh,
yeah,
Ash Wednesday. That's the start of Lent.
Okay. Do you do that? I've never seen you do that, but do you?
You've never seen it because you've only known me for 2 years, and the first year I didn't. The second year I also didn't. I didn't. I didn't do it because I was on campus all day. So, and I mean,
I've seen people on campus do it. Imagine a foreign guy. Imagine a Muslim, okay, walking around in this majority Christian country / state / city, and while I'm walking in my very innocent mentality, I suddenly see a shit ton of white people with ash crosses on their forehead. I'm like, today I die. I don't know what's happening. There's no information in regards to this. I didn't get the memo, and I'm scared because I feel like I'm the only one that can see these crosses because nobody's even batting an eye to them, and I started freaking out.
Yeah, it's for Ash Wednesday. It's just supposed to. Well, I'm sure there's more to it, but it's the start of Lent. Also, I remember every Friday we're not allowed to eat meat, but fish is fine. We can eat fish, but like we can't eat meat. every Friday, and I can tell you maybe there was only one Friday where I didn't eat meat.
I thought you were gonna say the opposite. It was one Friday in which I did eat meat.
Because I would forget it's Friday.
Yeah, it's kind of
one
hard
time-
to consciously be aware that I should not be eating meat when it's only one day per week. You know,
Yeah.
like sneaks up. Sometimes
Even-
I forget what day of the week it is. You know.
It was funny because Ash Wednesday, you're also not supposed to eat meat. So, that was the day Tomoya left, right? So, so Tomoya, left, and then we all decided to go get breakfast at McDonald's. And all of us just had to eat parfaits. And, what are they called? Those thingies.
McFlurries.
No. It's too early for that.
It's never too early for McFlurries.
Hash browns.
Oh,
That's what we
how
ate
did
for
you
breakfast.
mistake parfaits with hash browns?
No. I had a parfait and hash browns.
Oh, okay.
That was my breakfast.
That's why I was
But,
confused.
you
I
know,
thought it was like desserts that you were talking about.
Even that, I couldn't eat sausage egg McMuffin
Yeah, because it has a sausage.
and bread.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's not forget.
Can I get an egg?
But it was funny. It was funny. Though,
Is egg
'cause,
meat?
I don't think so, to be honest. But
Oh,
what
shit.
do I know?
Yeah, I'm not a nutritionist.
Yeah, I don't know. That was the same day Marty came, and so I'm like, let's go to Raising Cane, and I went there. I led
Shit ton of meat.
half the people that went that day fully participate in Catholicism.
Yeah.
They're all Catholic. We had Albert, we had Anthony, we had Alex, we had Chris. Not so much.
You're just shaming all of our friends.
No, listen, we were a community that all ate meat too early.
Stop it! Someone could be listening to this that could condemn them. You don't sell out your brethren.
The only one who could condemn us is Albert, and he participated.
You don't. Maybe his priest listens to this. I don't know.
Father Amata.
Your local pope. I don't know. Like
Your local pope. If you think
the Vatican
high
could be
caliber-
listening to this. It's out there.
All right, I'll cut it out.
Say everyone's name, but change it a little bit.
No, I'll just beep it, like beep 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 beep
Beeping,
beep.
booping, bopping.
Yes.
Just fucking start scatting.
Basically, I think the meat part wasn't, something we cared too much about. At least our group wasn't too oh no. I had to eat meat I had to eat Wendy's on a Friday once, and I wish I didn't.
Fasting would have been preferable.
Yeah, I really would have. Because that Wendy's sucked.
I actually don't mind Wendy's.
I don't remember asking what you don't mind. I don't remember asking that. I mean,
Ramadan is coming soon.
into
I was gonna pray for you, but now I'm not gonna do it anymore. I hope you understand that. And I hope the Pope who's listening also doesn't pray for your for your sins.
Fuck you and your Wendy's.
You know what? I'm gonna tell Wendy's not to pray for you either.
Good, because she's a bitch.
You don't know her.
Not an American bitch, but a Japanese bitch.
I remember when I first came back, I was surprised to see Wendy's here. So, off topic, Wendy's. When I went to the States way back when in middle school to visit my cousin, all of us were obsessed with Wendy's. We'd go there almost every day because it's something that we don't have in Kuwait. And I don't know, it was pretty good at the time. And we just everywhere, even in D.C. airport, instead of eating anything else at the airport, we'd go to Wendy's at the airport. It's pretty good. And then, because it's something we don't have access to. Since coming back since the summer, I was driving around with my friend, Bin Sened, and when we came across Wendy's, the first Wendy's I've ever seen in Kuwait, I was like, oh, holy shit, we have Wendy's? He was like, yeah, it's more like Fatum's. Like he changed the name to an Arabic name. He was like, it's more like Fatum's. Like it's not that good. But yeah, It's all right. I don't. It's not. I would. I avoid eating fast food in general. If I was going to eat a burger, I'd go to In and Out.
Oh,
If I want a fast food
yeah.
burger in Kuwait, Shake Shack, or not eat at all. But yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah. Um, aside from Wendy's being a trashy bitch,
Wendy potentially being the Pope's favorite dish. Continue.
that's a lie.
You don't know him.
Ain't no God lover.
I'm gonna email the Vatican right now. It's happening. Send them a snap.
That is not correct. But, no. I could give up Wendy's for 40 days. It wouldn't be an issue.
You could give it
Considering
up.
I never eat there.
Yeah, you could just give it up. Period. I don't know why.
Yeah.
You got to add the days, the count. I've been giving up alcohol my whole life, so I hope people appreciate that. Alcohol.
Must be nice.
No, oh man, this is public. I've accidentally had not drink it, but within food, cooked in food, and it's not because usually you're like, oh, you can't even taste it. You can't even. Yeah, it's true. Usually when it's a very small percentage, I wouldn't even know it was there. But man, those Europeans really are not subtle with their alcohol percentage in their food. We were in Vegas, and we were at an Italian restaurant, and Vegas goes big or go home. So they have like actual good, authentic food, and we ordered dessert. And I mean, a part of me was like, should we? No, should we? We don't know. And then I took a bite of this cake, and I swear to fucking God, I've never had alcohol before, and I was like, there's alcohol in this. I could immediately taste it. Like, it's an immediate sensation. And we're like, hey, this is after we finished it, though. So we don't have to, gotta ate half of it, like, we finished it, and then we asked the question. We're like, hey, is there alcohol in this? And they're like, yeah, so much. And I'm like, oh, shit. Okay. But I think that's the closest I've gotten to alcohol consumption.
I'm calling the Muslim Pope.
He's probably listening to this too. I'm probably being condemned.
I'm gonna email the Muslim Vatican.
I don't even know where the fuck they are.
What is that one place called where like
Mecca?
everyone? Yeah, I'm gonna message Mecca. I'm gonna DM them.
They gonna get angry.
Be like, look out for this man.
Can
He's
you
a fraud.
imagine a whole country just responding to a DM? Like, oh shit, okay.
Worm?
Okay, we'll put posters up. We got this. By the way, side note, Mecca side note. You're not allowed in Mecca unless you're a Muslim. Mecca is a city in Saudi Arabia. I don't see a reason why you'd be even in Saudi Arabia. It's a nice place, yeah, but I mean, it's still struggling with a lot of things politically. But this isn't a political podcast, so we can't discuss them. But in Mecca, you're not allowed to go in unless you're Muslim, and it's a really nice place. Like, I'm not saying like, fuck you don't get to see it, but it's nice in terms of. Do you know how? So when you think of one of the safest places on earth, where do you think? Like crime free, almost. Because I think Japan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, those guys got their shit together. Like they really do. They're very law-abiding citizens. Even the assholes are like saints everywhere else. And which is great, but I think the only place that I could think of that could top that is Mecca, because there's 5 times a day in which we pray, and Mecca is the holiest place on earth for Muslims. And when it's prayer time, shop owners would leave their stores open and just go pray, and nobody would steal from them.
Wow.
There's no crime. Everyone is super respectful because it's a very eye-opening location. Because do you know Malcolm X?
Yes.
Yeah, Malcolm X was misguided when he was a part of the Islamic Brotherhood back, during the rise of Islam in the U.S. And he thought that to be Muslim, you should be within African American race. and he was misguided because there was a political agenda. And then when he went to Mecca for pilgrimage, his eyes were opened wide by the fact that it was so diverse and everyone is welcome and everyone is equal in terms of so long as you follow this religion, like nobody, it doesn't matter where you're from or who you are. And it really is a very nice place. There's a new viral video of a guy in a wheelchair that's doing pilgrimage, and he went there by himself. How? I don't fucking know. But maybe he lived close. I don't know. But when he was doing the pilgrimage, he was moving around with his. So I'm not gonna explain the whole pilgrimage process, but there's a part where you circle the Kaaba, which is the black house in the middle of Earth. And you circle it 7 times while saying a prayer. And he was doing it with his wheelchair. And while he was doing it, a guy suddenly grabbed his wheelchair and started pushing him in the 7 circles. And they didn't even speak the same language. The only thing he kept thanking him using religious words so that they could at least pick up those words, you know. And I don't know, it's a very wholesome experience in a world where a lot of shit is happening negatively. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you need these bits of good shit when every other day there's some shooting happening somewhere.
Yeah.
San Diego too, what the fuck? I just checked out the group. There's a shooting right in front of fucking one of the dorms. Iconic, yeah. It's wild.
Yeah, it'd be like
San Diego is one of the safer places too, like in the States.
More or less.
Yeah, like in comparison to, I don't know, Chicago or something.
Yeah.
Detroit. By the way,
but
yeah. I have a family dinner. Erica needs to go to school and get her shit together. We're living life to its fullest here, doing our 9-to-5 jobs in which we don't get paid.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I asked you guys on Instagram, for those that follow me, if, again, that's at SHKV1 in case there's someone new listening. But I asked, and we said, what was the...
What's something you won't be able to give up for a whole month?
Yeah, so basically Lent, just with less days. Lent mixed with Ramadan. Ramadan's time frame with Lent's
Lamadan.
Lamadan, oh shit. That's Ramadan with a very thick Asian accent. Okay, so we each picked 3 of our either favorite or things that we can relate to or things we want to talk about. So Erica, go ahead.
The first one is bread, someone said, with an additional... Erica during Lent is the strongest person I know. But me any fucking week. That's what that sentence implied, but you know. We briefly discussed it earlier, but like bread is essential to my life, and I think for at least American students, like it's a staple to theirs because it's cheap, it fills you up. So, like, if someone, like, I can imagine, like, a poor college student was like, I'm going to give up bread. That's their whole diet right there. They're basically doing Ramadan at that point.
You're right.
So, like, I can imagine, like, it's how for some people, like, giving up bread just means giving up in general. Giving up eating, that's what you're really doing. And plus, I just kept having dreams about bread, and so did I really give up bread if I was eating it in my dreams? I don't know.
You're haunted by it.
I was. But yeah, so that was my first one. Shout out to that person for complimenting me in the process. That's how you get on these podcasts, is you compliment me at the same time.
You cater to our insecure needs. That's all you need to do.
Exactly.
The one that I want to talk about first was because some of you said things that were obvious, like I won't give up breathing. Like we know that you can't stop breathing for a whole fucking month or eating for a whole month, unless you mean like Ramadan style, which is funny because the people that mentioned food were Muslims that are getting ready for Ramadan. So I don't know what you're going through. But someone said sleep. And of course, you're gonna sleep for the whole goddamn. You're not. You can't go through a whole month without sleeping, at least some hours. But as a professional insomniac, I can tell you that you can go through many days without sleep and still function fine. Albeit, you will definitely hate everyone, including yourself. It's a great time, especially Ramadan. Okay, I don't know if it's fucking with my circadian rhythm, but I don't know if it's fucking with my circadian rhythm. But after Ramadan, towards the end, my sleep pattern just gets fucked in the ass. Like I'm not even comfortable living because, you know how you're supposed to wake up before sunrise to have your final meal, right? Final meal, like I'm gonna die, but final meal prior to fasting. Nobody in their right mind is gonna sleep for 2 hours because we already sleep late to begin with. Is gonna sleep for 2 hours, wake up because usually we wake up for prayer during sunrise, but to wake up a whole hour before prayer or 30 minutes before prayer and eat something. Nobody in their right mind are gonna are just gonna sleep for like an hour and then wake up again to eat. Might as well just sleep, like stay up the next extra hour, eat, pray, sleep, which is my next book, Eat, Pray, Sleep, and then you just fuck up your sleep because then you wake up at like what 2 p.m., 1 p.m. And then when you need to function back into society, you know, with your job or your school or you know your just everyday life, it just fucks you. Also the gym, okay. I'll get to that in a sec, but in Ramadan, I'm not gonna go to the gym when I'm fasting. I don't want to fucking dehydrate. I don't know. I turned into. We have Australian Shaheen and Italian Shaheen. Dehydrate. Anyway, I'm multilingual, just in the same language. But do you know that scene from the SpongeBob movie at the end when SpongeBob and Patrick are drying up on that surface, you know, when he has the lamp on them? Yeah, that's how I feel going to the gym while I'm fasting. So then you're expected to go to the gym during the time in which you can eat, which is already short enough. That means you have to eat, but not too much so that you can go to the gym without throwing up. And the gym, everyone's going at night, so it's already super busy. And all of Kuwait is in the same gym. And you're like, I can't breathe, I'd rather die. So you become obese while you're still fasting. The world is not fair. Anyway, please go to the next topic before I pull out another Australian Shaheen. I can't do it.
Hydrate.
Hydrate.
The next one is music. I agree with. I don't think I could do this just because I like listening to music. Like commuting from my house to San Diego State, like I would be so bored if I get so mad when I can't listen to music. Like sometimes I get my headphones at home, so I'll just have to sit there in silence and it pisses me off. So I can't imagine not having music in my life anymore. It doesn't make me angry to the extent of switching accents, but you know,
crikey.
It's still crikey. Yeah. Music is very important. Like the amount of times I just randomly start singing or humming, like I just couldn't do it. Like even if I wanted to try, subconsciously I just wouldn't allow myself.
Okay, Kuwait traffic is horrible. Okay, so in San Diego, the distance from my apartment to campus is about 15 minutes light traffic, 10 minutes my driving, 5 minutes my driving on crack. But in Kuwait, less than that distance, okay, would take double the time because it's so congested. And if you don't leave at a certain time frame, that because in Kuwait, every hour is rush hour except like 1 hour. It's like the opposite, okay? So the only thing that gets me through with a big old smile on my face is having my jams on throughout the entire car ride. I'm just singing, having a good time, because that's the only thing that could make me forget that I'm wasting my life in this car next to people that don't even know how to drive. Man, this is turning into a pet peeve kind of situation.
Starting to get angry again.
Because I have to get all the I need to get all my negativity out before Ramadan. But anyway.
Oh yeah.
Another one, and okay, I'm not a big buff dude, but the gym I know I mentioned it earlier. Someone said the gym. It was actually two people. Someone messaged me also saying the gym. But I recently started going to the gym, and I've been decently consistent. I've missed a few days every now and then, but I mean, the amount of shit I do at the gym is pretty tiring. I'm allowed a few days off. But if I were to cut the gym for a whole month after committing to it for a decent amount of time, it's been last week I cut the gym for 5 days, and I felt like shit. I felt like I was getting fat again. Is that what happens to people that work out? Is this a psychological issue that? Oh my god. Anyway, but I start feeling like, oh man, I'm not gonna go back to the way I was before. But like, I'm not even that fit yet. Like, I'm not in the best shape. I'm in the best shape of my life currently, but I'm not in the best shape that I could become. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So for me to cut out the gym, and then, because the worst feeling, and I know anyone who goes to the gym frequently, or from the Get Hard group, if you guys go to the gym,
Mm-hmm.
and then you cut the gym out, and then you go back to the gym, and then you do the simplest workout, either lifting weights or whatever, and you feel like the weights that you used to do effortlessly start to become difficult. You feel like, oh man, I really suck. Like, I cut the gym for 5 days. I'm doing crunches, and I couldn't even carry my head. And I'm like, I'm fat. I hate myself. My neck hurts. My back hurts. My shoulder hurts for some strange reason. It's the whole goddamn. So yeah, I understand when people say, because a lot of people are like, oh, the gym. Like, come on, the gym. I understand, but I also understand that once you get a routine going in your physical performance, you want to maintain it, because once you lose it, you kind of lose more than just that. You kind of lose the motivation to stay healthy, the motivation to keep up with a healthier lifestyle. It's very hard to get your mindset into that. So I commend people that stick to it.
I don't know if you can hear that, but that's me applauding you.
I thought you were clapping cheeks, but
sorry. Maybe if I.
Yeah. No, it still sounds dirty. I don't know how. Can't you like?
That sounds dirty to me too.
That sounds like wanking off.
Snaps. I'll snap for you.
Are those bullets? What's happening? Anyway.
All right, and then my last one is. Oh no, where to go? Complaining about my life. Honestly, I'm such a negative Nancy. I too like to complain. It's just a coping mechanism. And if you can't let me cope, I think I might as well just die.
Especially before we usually record these podcasts, Erica and I usually just kind of complain a little bit about what's happening in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And if you cut that out, that would be potentially very dangerous. Dangerous. Okay, there's Asian Italian. There we go. We filled the whole circle. Hydrate. Deep. Dangerous.
Choose your fighter.
Oh man, it's International Day. But anyway, God, so much anger came out of me. Where were you? What were you talking about?
I don't know. You were the one that was talking.
I don't know, but what was your topic? Which one? Oh yeah, complaining. Yeah.
You get rid of that, you get rid of my personality. Like.
Yeah.